Let's learn the shtickle Toldos Shimshon on Perekei Avos Perekei Mishnah Aleph. Akavya ben Mahalalel Oimer. Akavya ben Mahalalel says, Histakel b'shloisha dvorim. One should think about and concentrate on three things. Ve'einato boli de avera. And you won't come to do avera. Avera won't come to your hands. Number one, da my ayin basal. One should know and understand where he came from, and where he's headed, and in front of who you're going to have to stand one day to give a din v'cheshbon on everything that you did in your lifetime. The Toldos Shimshon asks, what's the double lashon din v'cheshbon? In front of who you're going to have to stand and give a din and a cheshbon. What are the two things, din and cheshbon? The Toldos Shimshon explains that the Gemara in Pesachim says that if someone moves from one place, one city, to another city, then he has to keep the chumras of both places. Noisin olav chumrei mokum sheholach l'sham, v'chumrei mokum sheyotza misham. If the place that he left had minhagim one way, and the place that he's coming to has different minhagim, so which minhagim should he keep? So it says that he should keep the chumras of the place that he came from, and the chumras of the place that he's coming to. Now it says in the Rivosh that this halacha is only true only when it's daitoy lachzor limkoimoy, only if he's planning on going back to the place that he came from. But if when he moved here to the new place, he planned on staying here, then of course he could be noig even leheter. He doesn't have to have the chumras of his old city. He could keep all the kulas of the new city that he moved to, because now this is his place. The whole halacha that you have to keep the chumras of the old place that you came from is only when you're planning on going back. So you never became a person of this new city. But if you're planning on staying here, then the halacha is you could even keep the kulas of this city, and you don't have to keep the chumras of the place that you came from. So says the Toldos Shimshon, the neshama of a yid came from the Olam Ha'elyon, came from Shemayim, and in Shemayim it's a place that they're very machmir on the moira of the Eibishter. This Yireh Shemayim, the Malachim are afraid of the Eibishter. In Shemayim, it's a place of a chumrah of Yireh Shemayim. Now the neshama came down onto this world, and this world is a place that the mekel, the not so machmir in Yireh Shemayim. So a person might say he's not planning on going back. He doesn't want to go back to the next world. He wants to stay here. A person doesn't die on his own will, so he wants to stay here. So you might think that he could now have this halacha, that even though he came from a place of a chumrah, he's coming from Shemayim, his neshama was in Shemayim over there, they're very machman Yireh Shemayim, but now he's in this place, in this world, that they're not so machmer, they're more mekel on Yireh Shemayim, and he's not planning on leaving. So then he could have the halacha that he could be mekel like they do on this world, and not to be so makpid on Yireh Shemayim. On that, Akavya ben Mahalalel tells us, Da me'ayin baso, you should know where you came from, and the place that we came from was a place of a chumrah, that in Shemayim, they're very machmer Yireh Shemayim. You're also going back there. You're not a person that came down to this world and is planning on staying on this world. A person has to know that he's moving back. His neshama is going to be put back into the next world, into the place that he came from. And therefore, he has the halacha that even when he's here on this world, he has to keep the chumras of the place that he came from, because that's the halacha. If someone's planning on returning to the place that he came from, then he has to keep the chumras of the place that he came from. It's only when he's staying here that he can be makel like the new place. And that's what the Mishnah is saying. If someone thinks like that, then he'll have the right Yireh Shemayim, and he'll never come to do Aveirah. And then the Mishnah adds on, and when we come back to the next world, you have to know in front of who you're going to give a din v'cheshbon. And the Toldos Shimshon says, what's din v'cheshbon? Because a person might think, okay, I'll keep the chumras that were on the world before in Shemayim, before I came to this world. So I have to keep those chumras because I'm going back to that world. But someone might think that what if the Chachamim made a Gezer in his times? That means we find in the Gemara that the Chachamim were gozer on things that the generation before didn't have that Isser. Shammai and Hillel made 18 Gezeres, and we have the Chachamim in Shas that made Gezeres that weren't in the door before them. Every generation has their takonis and Gezeres that the Chachamim of every generation can make Gezeres. Even in our generation, the Chachamim have a koyach to make takonis and Gezeres. So someone might think, if I only have to keep the chumras that were on the world in Olam Elyon before I came down to this world, now it's possible in a person's lifetime the new gzeres. So you can't say he has to keep those chumras because he's only keeping the chumras because he came from a place that had chumras, and he's going back to that place. But when he was born, these chumras were not yet on this world. It was only in his lifetime that the Chachamim in his generation made this takana. So who said he has to keep that? He only has to keep the chumras of that were around when he was born, because when he left the place that had the chumras, which is the next world. So on that the Mishnah comes and says, no. Lifnei mi'ata osed liten din v'cheshben. Din means a din deraisa. Cheshben means the halachas of divrei sofrim of midrabbanons, because the Gemara says why are the Chachamim called divrei sofrim? Because they used to count the oisius in the Torah. So that's cheshbon. They used to make cheshbonis of the letters in the Torah. So our Mishnah is saying that we're going to have to give a din and a cheshbon. Even the cheshbon, even the takonis that the Chachamim are masakin in his lifetime, he's also going to have to give a din a cheshbon. And he can't say, I'm only keeping the chumras that were around before he was born, because he has to keep the chumras that were in Shemayim already, and the chumras that were niskan when he was alive, those takonas were not around before. So he might think he doesn't have to keep that. And that the Mishnah says, L'fnei mi'ata osid liten din, the dinim deraisa that were there before, and the cheshbon and the new takonas, the rabbonon. In the schus of the Zera Shimshon, where we have brocha and atzlocha b'chol onyonim.